Hello and welcome to Fin Business. I'm in conversation with Manisha Bansal, who is the co-founder of i2iFunding, and we are going to understand how the P2P lending market in India is. Manisha, welcome on the show.
Thank you so much, Amol. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. So there are a lot of nitty-gritties about P2P lending space, and in fact, the world is really interested in this space because RBI actually given licenses to few players few months back, and there are many players who are in rush to obtain the license for the P2P lending in India. Now, if you look at also the fintech space, many fintech players are also entering into the lending space.
That's right.
So, if you could tell me how the P2P lending space is evolving in India right now.
Right. So, Amol, I would like to say that we have a big differentiator in P2P India compared to the global scenario. Reason being that our regulator has been very proactive about the space, and we got the regulations at a very early stage. And although we are one of the oldest running platforms, there were approximately 4-5 platforms that were running their operations when RBI released its guidelines last year in 2017, and I believe that is a very promising situation for us because the regulations have given the industry credibility, a direction, and it has ensured that there is genuine, integral people working for the benefit of people at large in the country. Yes, lending is a very happening space as of now, and considering the demography of India, wherein a lot of surveys are projecting that by 2020 we are going to have the highest amount of working population in a democracy across the globe, there are manifold rise which is going to happen in the savings at the retail level. Also in manifold rise in the amount of expenses and credit needs. To meet that kind of a humongous demand in the market for lending, I believe P2P can be a very strong pillar to support other other lending institutions, banks, and the overall lending infrastructure of the country.
So that was quite comprehensive answer. Now the question that I have is, how much is the scale in this particular lending business right now, and what kind of demand do you see in the market?
So the scale is, we are very young, very small, a dot on the map, I could say. To give you a perspective, the overall personal loan lending which happens in India on an annual basis is approximately 1.5 lakh crores. And as a P2P industry participant, I look that as my opportunity. And currently the overall book of the P2P industry in India is anywhere around 50 to 60 crores. So you can see how the growth opportunities and options are very huge. We can go to really good levels from here, and there is no dearth of demand. It is about building up supporting framework around this space, wherein I believe the overall financial space needs to consolidate in terms of doing the KYC, in terms of credit company reportings. These are few things which can work to enhance the quality of functioning of the entire lending space in the country. And these are the things which can work which can work in the favor of P2P space as well.
What is the average size of the loan?
So
who are the customers?
Yes, so at i2iFunding we don't give loans of more than 3 lakh of rupees, and as mandated by RBI, the overall exposure of an individual of loans through P2P cannot exceed 10 lakhs.
Okay. How about the investors? Are investors really finding this lucrative business, because the people, those who have lots of money, are unable to put money because there is a limit, there is a cap?
That's right. So I would like to say that what we are talking about are lenders.
Right.
So people who are lending through these platforms. So yes, I believe we can look at it both ways, that RBI has tried to take a cautious step here, that people should not get blown away by the newness of this industry, and do not take overexposure above their risk appetite. So I would like to say that lending through P2P platforms comes with its own set of risk factors, and every individual should be cognizant of that while taking an exposure in this kind of an investment class. Having said that, we have a very good response from our lenders. At i2i, we are growing 10% month on month in terms of our retail lender base. We are the platform with the highest retail lender base in the country right now, and we see a lot of confidence from our lenders. The only thing I would again insist as a message to the public is that P2P can really work as a very good alternate asset investment class, wherein you get very healthy risk adjusted returns, but one should always keep in mind their risk appetite and the way they are diversifying their portfolio.
How do you actually analyze the risk of particular set of customers? What are the parameters to qualify a customer?
It's a very good question, Amol, and different platforms are working with different methodologies. At i2i, we run our own proprietary credit algorithm, which has been developed in-house completely, and we have been in operations for more than 36 months now. We are one of the veteran professional players, and today we are analyzing a borrower's profile on approximately 100 data points. So the CIBIL score or any credit CIC score is basically just one of the data points for us. We refer to 3 or 4 credit company scores along with other parameters that we look at. So his age, his qualification, and even in qualification we categorize whether he has done his graduation from a grade A college or a grade B institute. If he's done an MBA from a very good college, that person would have a better weightage. Then we also rate the company where they are working for how long they've been working, their placement in the organizational hierarchy. So these are some of few key points where we are analyzing our customer, but we are trying to put technology at best use to analyze a person and enhance our understanding of their credit behavior rather than relying solely on the traditional data points, which are like your income source, your bank statements and your asset proofs. So we are trying to go far and beyond that and see their overall performance and their behavioral aspects to analyze them. And our goal is to reach out to maximum people, and people who are not able to otherwise raise money. Small ticket size loans are quite expensive if you go through the traditional route.
So P2P lending is one of the innovative idea. It's an innovative product, no doubt about it. But even banks and the financial institutions have done enough innovation in last couple of years.
That's right.
Specifically, NBFCs have tied up with many fintechs, and banks have their own, small divisions. Also, the government came with Mudra Bank and everything. When it comes to the small banks, the amount that you said about 3 lakh rupees. How challenging, how tough will it be for a player like you and other P2P lending companies to compete with these large banks who already started the small divisions?
So again, a very good observation, Amol. But when you talk about government initiatives and banks taking these kind of roles and trying to make small ticket size loans economical for the normal public, I would say that we still have an edge in the sense that there is a lot of cost effectiveness in our operations,
right,
because we are relying heavily on our technology aspect of things. The entire process at i2iFunding is digitized. A person never has to visit our branch at all. So one can apply online, one can upload their documents online, they are able to track their loan repayment history online, they can pay their EMIs, which is completely automated. So we believe that we bring a different set of strengths altogether, and also with the kind of resources we hire coming from a digital space, we are also enhancing our credit underwriting. We believe can be very, very strong for a P2P player. But having said that, we are here to give them a very good competition because of our efficiency of operations.
Okay, since you mentioned some time back, because from 0 to 100, everything, entire process is digital. I would like to know about recovery. How strong is your recovery mechanism? Because let's take an example of a SBI or large banks in India where they could not recover from the large corporates.
That is true. That's absolutely true, Amol. And it's a very pertinent point in today's scenario. So we at i2i, we have our own in-house recovery team as well as a legal team. wherein we work, so we ensure customer engagement across the month to ensure that people are mentally prepared that their EMI date is coming. So we start from there and we build from there. So there is healthy communication with our borrowers to make them understand the repercussions and how things are going to become more difficult for them.
Right.
So I believe that all credit bureaus can play a very important role in this, because as I said, we work with a lot of new to credit customers and people who have not taken a home loan and all. So taking loan from a P2P space can help them build a very healthy CIBIL history wherein they can garner future loans at a lower interest rate.
Absolutely.
So there needs to be more education across this piece. I believe we can actually work with a very healthy credit repayment system as long as we are able to educate our customers.
True.
At i2i, we are actually running a very healthy small NPA rate for our last 18 months of business for these reasons. So with right engagement, right communication with your borrowers, supported by a good legal and in-house team, recovery team is the answer for this.
One last question I have for you is, how difficult it is for you to look at the entire regulatory environment right now, because every step has been watched by the regulator because you are a new fish in the ocean.
Yes. So I would say that we are very happy and we are very appreciative of our regulator that they have supported us all through the way. They have tried to build a consolidated regulatory structure, which, as I said in the beginning of our conversation, to ensure that there are genuine players with industry experience who have come here for the growth of the space at large.
Right.
So this space has a lot of potential to grow from here, but it needs a good attention from veteran bankers, veteran industry players to come and share their expertise and building this from here. So having said that, good compliance, good regulatory framework, yes, it is very strong, and on a platform level we all need to work much hard to see that we are able to comply with all the aspects. So we have our technology compliances and all are very stringent, but at i2i we are very happy with that situation because we believe that that would add to the worthiness and the integrity of the industry.
Great, Manisha. Those were really nice insights. Thank you so much for sharing those insights. It was nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amol.
And thank you so much for watching Fin Business.